June 1st today, and I thought this would be the perfect time to take a little break and walk you through the basics of my index card system. It's been a while since I've done a full overview, and if you're new here, welcome to Time and Tide Plans. So let's dive in. I've got a fresh card deck in front of me, and this is where the planning begins. These are the monthly cards, and they're designed to help you get grounded in what day of the week it is, what the date is, and where you are in your month overall. Super simple, but super effective. On the side of each monthly card, there's a space to jot down notes like upcoming holidays, birthdays, and just little reminders that you don't want to forget. The cards are color-coded, and the months are marked clearly so you can find your place quickly. Right behind the monthly section, you'll find your 12-week year cards. They're weekly dividers starting from 1 through 12, and this is for those of you who want to follow a 12-week year format if you're into that kind of goal setting. I love it because it keeps me focused. Next, you'll see the date cards numbered 1 through 31. These are undated, meaning no year next to each month, which means you can start whenever you want. January 1st, June 9th, October 27th, any day can be your day one, and I just love that flexibility. There's also a section I like to call my daily memories. This is where I write down a little something every day about what was memorable. You can use it however you like, track habits, jot down one-sentence journal entries, or note something sweet your child said to you that day. Then we loop back around to the months. So if you're starting in June, you'd keep June right up front with your date dividers sitting on top of that divider, so 1 through 30. After the June divider is followed up by July, August, and so on of the monthly dividers. The design of the system means you can jump in anytime. It's not about being perfect or starting on the right day. And here's something extra. The monthly cards have dot grids, making it perfect for doing a quick reflection at the end of the month, doodling, or making lists. I use the monthly reflection card that comes in the Just Get Started card deck for a prompt or as prompts to fill in this monthly divider at the end of the month. So that's the foundation of the card system. The 12-week plan lives behind the monthly dividers, and all of your daily date dividers go on top of the current month. Any dates that are coming up. So for example, for us, that is 1 through 30. When the first, that one divider is done, that gets shuffled behind the June divider sitting on top of the July divider. That goes the same for all of the action cards. If you've completed the action for the first, if it's a weekly action card, it gets shuffled to the next week. Your monthly card, in our case, the June card, travels with you day to day. Once you've reviewed your cards for the day, you move that on top of the next day's divider so that it's there for you to reference when shuffling your action cards. And that's really the heart of the system. It grows with you, moves with you, and helps you stay grounded, whether you're planning for the week or just trying to remember what day it is. So 1 week from today would be the 8th, and you'd file that card right in front of the 8th. Those future months, July through next June even, just sit in front of the corresponding month tab. If you're really on top of things, like I started doing last year, you can plan the whole year ahead. I give each month a theme. This year, it's based on my 12-week year plan. So for 2025, I set one big goal for the year and broke it down into 4 12-week plans, then into monthly goals. And it might sound like a lot, but I actually really enjoy it, and it helps me stay focused again. You can either prep the whole year in advance by writing out those monthly cards, filling out important dates, and highlighting when your 12-week years start, or do like I used to do, fill it out at the end of each month. And so it's totally up to you. Now here's another card that is important to go over. This is the weekly rhythm card, and it lays the foundation for your planning. Having a weekly rhythm is helpful regardless of whether you use the card deck or you're using a planner or a calendar system. The rhythm helps guide your focus for each day based on the pattern of your week. I've made videos on this and they're not perfect, but I'll link them for you. If you want to create your own rhythm, you can do that too. So this is the weekly rhythm card. I keep it behind my calendar card. Even though I have it memorized, it's a good checkpoint. Every time I pull a card, whether it's this weekly rhythm card or a reminder to do morning pages, it's the ability to take time to say, this is what I'm focused on, and it helps me eliminate distractions. Then you have your blank cards. This one in particular is for the 12-week year where you can write your goals. I have a bunch of videos on this and how I use a 12-week year and with index cards, so I'll link those videos below as well. That's the foundation of using a card deck as a planner. Based on that, your daily activities get placed on blank cards, or if you use one of my pre-made decks, the activities are already printed and ready to shuffle. So instead of your traditional to-do list that's tossed or added to each day, Each task is on its own card and you shuffle them over time. Like I've said, it's a great way to stay focused and to go with the flow of your day and your week. Let's take a quick break and I'll show you my current card deck. I have it through June in this bag since I'm wrapping up my second 12-week year for 2025 that goes through June. These are the cards I use daily. I keep them in a little travel bag that fits in my purse or backpack and sits on the counter when I'm home or on the boat. I also have a card case with all the extra cards I'm not using right now, and that stows away in a cabinet. I printed blanks at the beginning of the year, so everything's ready to go that way. I don't need to constantly be prepping or printing more. I can just dive right in. Here's the rest of my 12-week year cards for 2025. They're color-coded by session, just with the one color. I have my winter set in the back, blanks for activity cards. I have contact cards, these alphabetic dividers. I have some fun cards for my upcoming abundance deck, which will be in the shop soon. So those all sit in this extra card deck. I also have the rest of my monthly cards and dividers for the year and the ones I've already used. I started jotting down my monthly check-ins, as I said, on the monthly dividers last year, and I'll show you some examples. I keep them stored in a cabinet on our boat. This is the set from 2022 to 2023. I highlight what I want to remember and then transfer it to my digital calendar as recurring events. That way, I can celebrate those dates or use them for family traditions. I don't keep track of every memory, just what's meaningful. I also have a video on this that I'll link to. A couple more examples from what I've shared so far. Here's a 12-week year where I tried to write a novel in 12 weeks. I didn't finish it, but I'm still working on it. These cards were for outlining, and I even made a mood board, which was super fun. Another 12-week year, this bag actually focused on weight loss, which was very successful. It helped me stay motivated and it lasted for most of the year. I also did one for growing my YouTube channel, which went great too. And I now have a card deck based on that plan. Now I want to wrap up showing you the fun card deck. I have it on sale right now in my Etsy shop for 40% off. I ran the sale last year and I'm doing it again. These fun cards were a big part of our life during homeschooling and when we rebuilt our engine especially. But lately my memories have been mostly focused on work, which makes sense since I'm really leaned into my career after a decade of homeschooling. So the kids returned to public school last year and this year has been a big push professionally. Still, I want to bring back more fun into our days, so I'm adding the fun card deck back into our rotation for the summer. The action cards are pre-made with cute doodles and prompts and space to add notes or personalize it, just like the other card decks with Canva. You can use it as your only card deck if you want. Each activity is placed in front of a date divider, just like actions you take for cleaning your home or working towards a goal. Similarly, if you don't get to it, you can shuffle and try again. You could even make it a summer-only project. Like last year, I did something I called American Family Dono, and then that's inspired by the Swiss Family Robinson book and movie for the month of July. And you can do something like that, or just use the fun card deck. The blank cards and the deck are similar to the Just Get Started card deck as far as the meals and then DIY cards go. I've enjoyed using meals and fun foods to go with our themes, so that makes having these meal cards available really nice. So one example is for May the 4th. In the past, we've done Star Wars recipes from Disneyland. Those go on the meal cards and are shuffled in front of the date that I would use them on, which would be May the 4th. You can build a theme, write it down, and shuffle it in front of May for the next year. There are also lavender-colored cards for DIYs with space for listing arts and craft supplies. Those help me call out things that aren't recipes but need some instruction still. They're things I would otherwise pull up on my phone. The blank theme cards are meant to help you plan out what you need to buy, make, or do, like what shows to watch, materials to prep, or meals to cook. It's all in one place and it turns that fun into a plan that you can actually follow. Here are a couple of other cards that come in the fun card deck that just keep you organized. This was inspired by The Artist Way, which I did in 2020 and again last fall. I kept wanting to do it again, but I told myself, no, just do the things you know you should be doing, like writing a book, that kind of thing. But then our small town had a group doing The Artist Way, and I joined thinking it would be a good way to meet people. And it was, but nobody finished it. But I did, because again, I really like The Artist Way. I like all the exercises. And this session, this run through of it, I pulled something completely. I just had such a totally different, opposite experience as my first time. So I did still enjoy it. So my morning pages and activities from that round are in this journal, and there's just a little bit of room left, which I've been using for my abundance card prompts here and there. Anyway, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron has these weekly check-ins, and I pulled some of that into my fun card deck so that I could keep it going. You can mark off when you do your morning pages and if you go for a walk. She talks a little bit about that in The Artist's Way, but she goes into it much further with other books she's written. Also on the card is the opportunity to note synchronicities, which I also really appreciate the opportunity to keep track of. You know, when you see these little signs in your life or things that pop up and you think, oh, that's an interesting coincidence. It's just nice to keep track of it. And it's just kind of fun to marvel at how everything comes together. So this card is something that you'd file weekly on a Sunday or Saturday, depending on when your week starts. It could sit with your blanks or in front of the monthly cards. For me personally, I'm committing to the fun card deck just for the summer and making it more of an American Family Dono memory capsule. I'll use it only through August and then stow it away. So I might share more about this as I go with it. Then you have your week ahead card. This is really important to me, kind of like how I use my meal card where I check in every day with it. I actually have it right here, my meal card. I've been working on filling it out for this week. This is one of the more important tools I use consistently. When I am using it, I'm much more successful because I'm able to keep us healthy with the food choices. And most importantly, it keeps me sane because it reduces the amount of decisions I have to make throughout the week in deciding what to eat and what to feed our family. I just do it all up front. I shuffled the meal card, through the deck each day as I'm going through my action cards. And I take note of what's coming up for meals, and that way I know what I need to get from the store or how much time I need to prep. Some recipes you have to prep the day before if it's bread, that kind of thing. The Fun Ahead card is supposed to work in the same way. If you have a craft coming up on Thursday, you know ahead of time that you need to go to the store to get the supplies. Again, this is another one that you shuffle in just before the week you need it, and you can fill it out in advance. And then there's the weekly reflection card, which again is inspired by The Artist's Way. It's just a simple end of week check-in with prompts like, what went well? What do I need to do differently? And it was made so that it gave me the opportunity to sit down and say, like, why are you skipping cards? Why are you skipping these fun opportunities? And it forced me to really reflect on what I needed to tweak throughout the week. So that's a fun card deck. Like I said, it's a summer project for me this year. Then you have your more basic deck. I'm not someone who likes to juggle multiple systems. That's one of the reasons I created the 12-week year cards. I didn't want to use a planner anymore. And that's also why I've pulled in cards like the abundance cards and the YouTube deck. I didn't want to use Trello anymore either. So I just wanted one system. But the bonus of having a separate summer fun deck is that you can use the daily dividers as a journal. And like I said, since it's just for summer, you can pull them out afterwards and save them in a little Ziploc bag with the doodles or photos or any kind of journaling pieces that you wanted to do on those dividers and not worry about the system that you have going throughout the year. So that's the fun card deck, basic card deck. The fun card deck is 40% off in my Time and Tide Plans Etsy shop. And this is my current card deck. And here's a quick setup note while I'm recording this video. I finally got whiteout for my cards. I don't know if you use whiteout. I have very rarely used it. I like to keep things minimal, crossing things out, or I've used a white paint marker in the past, but having to wait for that to dry is just such a pain. That is one addition to my setup that I'm excited to talk about. And the next one is this Muji pen. This is what I use still, but now I've used it in a 0.38 since last year because many of you recommended it to me because it works well with smaller writing. And then also it has this ink that doesn't smudge. It's just fantastic. I really like it. The only problem is I've been ordering it off of this Amazon shop, but I don't know if I ordered it from a different shop this time because it was out. I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure it's counterfeit. So that's something to watch out for because they don't have an official shop on Amazon. So if you know of where to purchase Muji pens, you should let me know what you're doing. Because again, I really like it. And I've looked at alternatives online to see what people recommend. So I might try some other ones too. just in case. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem practical to order from the official Muji store. So let me know what you do. Finally, I have my midliners, and I only keep one highlighter with me for the card deck, and it's this pink one because it aligns with the 12-week year, which is color-coded pink for spring. Summer is yellow, so I'll be switching soon, and yellow is not my favorite highlighter, but I do kind of like the soft pastel of this palette that I got just from Target. So these are my supplies. I use this stuff daily. The whiteout, not so much, but it does make fixing a mistake a whole lot easier. All right, everybody. Happy June.